Hi, I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver. It's January already. And I'm joined by Macdonald of Fireweed Zinc, who's been having a pretty exciting couple weeks here, mostly coming from this resource estimate that you put out recently that blew the market away, I would say. You took an asset that let's step back a bit here. This is an asset that's in the Yukon, has been known for a long time. You guys managed to extract it from Hudbay, who'd held onto it tightly for many years. So tell us a little bit about what the Tom Jason deposits are.
Yeah, so the Tom Jason deposits are the critical components of our McMillan Pass project. So these are zinc, lead, silver, SEDEX deposits. So when we bought them, or at least arranged the sale and signed our definitive option, the historical resource was about 6 million tons indicated and 24 million inferred. Yet our mineral resource estimate, which came out 10 days ago, was 11.2 million indicated at 9.6% zinc equivalent and 39 million inferred at 10% zinc equivalent. So this was not a modest change in the resource. This was a huge change. And part of the reason it jumped so big was because we effectively got 2 field seasons in one. Because we got Hudbay's own season in 2011 with no mineral resource update after that. And then we got our own added on top of that. So we kind of got double the money for our effort,
Which was amazing. And having a resource of 50 million tons, if you put those categories together, gives you the largest, high-grade zinc-lead deposit controlled by a junior in the market right now.
Yeah, I mean, unless you count Arizona, and they're worth 25 times as much as us.
Yeah,
right?
I don't really count that.
So it's a bit of a different beast, right? So it's a unique situation because now we're a globally significant zinc asset.
With a lot of room to grow yet, right? So when I look at the model and I look at some of the intercepts that are not yet in the model and some of the gaps that remain, it looks like there's still a lot of fairly near-hanging fruit for you to go after next.
Yeah, it doesn't require a lot of imagination to visualize the known deposits getting a lot larger without any requirement of identifying new zones.
Okay, so clearly getting this resource out there, sort of surprising the market, attracting a bunch of attention for the scale of this resource and the grade. Let's not forget this is a high grade resource in a really strong zinc market. That was a really important step. Now next is clearly putting some economics around this asset for the first time. The location is a really important factor here. So talk to me a bit about the location. Some of the, people have a bit of some concerns about that, and how the PEA is hopefully going to address that.
So I think the two concerns about location are, one, how does it affect your OPEX? What sort of haircut do you take because you have to truck concentrate out so far? The easiest way to frame that problem is to look at the NSR calculation we included in our last resource update, because that is net of transportation, right? You'll see that, we don't get paid quite as much per unit metal as better located peers, but it's not bad, right? And there's still a lot of payable metal in there at very good rates. And then the next question is, okay, so what does that cost you in CapEx? I think the recent announcements from the Yukon Territorial and the federal government about infrastructure investment there suggest that we might not necessarily be on the hook for much, if any, of the infrastructure development needed. So I think the PEA will surprise people.
Right, and then the PEA, by wrapping some numbers around it and showing, I'm expecting that a mine would make sense with the resource as it is. That sets you up really well for resource expansion should you be able to attain that, which we think is going to happen next summer, right? Show
there's margin on existing tons, and then the additional tons are gravy.
Absolutely. And then additional tons, you mentioned discovering new zones. You have a really big land position up there. SEDEX deposits often happen in clusters. There's a lot of unexplored territory.
And I think, as an exploration geologist, that's the stuff that gets you really excited, because the step-outs are critical, and growing this resource through step-outs is going to be very non-trivial impact on the total deposit. But you find a new zone, and then it's that quantum leap in resource growth.
Absolutely. And then Fireweed is also a pretty new company. We just IPO'd June?
Well, we end of May and started trading.
Right, that's what it was, 1st of June. So still a new company and a very tight share structure.
And so we put a lot of effort in to make sure the structure was tight, and which helps us trade well, and as well, despite our incredible performance over the last bit, we are still the cheapest of our peers on a valuation per equivalent metal on the ground, which shows that despite our growth, we still should be a very compelling investment.
Absolutely. No, that valuation per pound of zinc or per pound of zinc equivalent, however you want to frame it, that's what you have to start looking at when projects get to this kind of stage, advanced resource, preliminary economic assessment. That's the bar. How do you compare these assets? And you guys are far lower than the next comparable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's Fireweed Zinc. If you like zinc, it's an interesting story to watch. Thanks for watching.